Andrew and Adam, thanks for doing this interview with me, guys. It's funny, before we started, I was talking to Al about this, trying to remember when was the last time I did an interview with you guys, because when I got the
Yes.
email and I heard that we were going to do this interview, Al, you reminded me. When did we do this?
I think it was CMW 2019 or 2018, something around there.
So it was definitely before the pandemic.
Before the
Yeah.
pandemic, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. And it was
Yeah.
cold. It was very cold, I remember.
It's always cold with CMW. Oh, man.
Yeah.
But, I'm
Canada.
glad to talk to you guys again, because from the things I've seen and I've heard and what we're going to be talking about with this new music, you guys have really evolved. Andrew, man, how does it feel being in this band and watching this band grow the way it has the last couple of years?
It's amazing. I mean, we've been in this band for a while, and it's always every year is something different, different challenge, different different amount of growth in a different direction. But yeah, it's awesome, man. It's a lot of fun to kind of have this as an outlet and to have this to be able to do every day. So it's the best thing in the world. It's great.
Adam, it's funny that Andrew, you said that, because Adam, it sounds like you guys are having fun. A lot of times when bands are doing this, because the travel, people don't understand the travel, the bookings, the different hotels, different cities. I mean, it can get tough, but when I see interviews with you guys or hear the music and whatever else, you guys sound like, as much as it's tough out there, you guys are having a good time.
Gotta have a good time, man. It's a tough game, so you gotta have fun. You gotta enjoy it.
And it definitely sounds like you guys are doing that. Al, tell me something. How did you guys get together? Let's go back and reminisce a little bit on how the
Uh,
band was formed.
yeah, so Adam and I went to high school with each other. We had like a high school band, and at the time, our drummer was moving on to other things, and we knew Andrew because he played in a band with my cousin, and he was a drummer, and we were the same age and kind of cut from the same cloth. And I think Adam reached out to him on Facebook when that was like back in the day, and Andrew's like, "Yeah, why don't you come to my parents' basement and jam?" And so we did. And for the first little while, we jammed in this like 10 by 10 tiny little rehearsal room in his parents' basement, lined with, I don't even know, death metal posters and all the stuff he was listening to, Korn and Slipknot, and then like Blink 182 to throw you for a loop. But then the funny thing is, we wanted to do something different when we first started. So the original plan was, all right, we're not going to just start playing shows in clubs, because we wanted to build this band differently. And we kind of came up with this idea called the Backpack Tour. We got acoustic guitars.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, we got acoustic guitars, and we went around high schools all across Ontario, unannounced, after school, as kids were leaving for the day, and we would play songs as the kids left for the day. We'd film it, put it on YouTube, and then one thing led to another. Some of the videos started to gain some popularity on YouTube, and sure enough, it was the beginning of kind of the We Day movement. And so we got invited to play in a whole bunch of school gyms after that. So it worked out, and some of our hardcore fans are still with us from those days.
I don't swear doing interviews, but that was fucking amazing, and it was brilliant. Like I remember that, and I remember a lot of people talking about this. And like I said, man, talk about taking a situation and owning it and making it into something. Andrew, what was that like, man, to be able to do something like that and turning it into something? To me, that's historic, and I really mean that. That's something like bands of today will look at what you guys did and go, shit, I should have thought about that, and try to come up with something like that to get themselves noticed.
Yeah, it was a really good idea, and it was a lot of fun to do. But unfortunately, we decided to do it for the first time in like February. So it was cold as balls. We were getting snowballs thrown at us. Adam
Pick
and
the
I were
worst
playing
month to do it.
baseball, playing baseball with their guitars with some snowballs. But high school kids are the most ruthless human beings on the planet. So it was great to kind of to hang out with them, learn some of their learn what they do whenever they don't like to see people on their turf. But yeah, some of them invited us into their schools, and we ended up playing actually in a couple of their auditoriums. Some teachers would, be like, "Hey, what are you doing on our property?" And some teachers were like, "Why don't you come on in to our property and play inside?" So it was awesome. I mean, some of the some of those days I had a camera and I filmed it, document the whole thing, and some of them I played on a djembe and just kind of kept beat, because Lord knows these guys couldn't keep any time at that period of our
Yeah.
career.
And Rudy,
But
we
yeah,
we were fresh out of high school too, so
Yeah.
like it would have been different if like we were like maybe 28 years old with beards rolling into high schools with a camera. That I don't know if that would work out.
No,
I don't even
no,
know if that, I
no.
don't even know if that would even work out today, being fresh out of high school, going back to a high school, filming and just
No,
like going into the courtyard of a school, of a random
I,
school.
I'm pretty sure
I
like the
didn't.
SWAT team would come and like take us out or
Oh
something. Like
yeah, for
100%.
sure.
It would not fly
yeah,
in
but
these
but back
times today.
then, there were no cameras. Like, now everybody
I
has a
know we
camera on
still
their
have the
phone.
blocks. We had those
We the
blocks.
block I had a shoulder holster. I was like holding this
Oh
like
man,
this.
I
We were
love that.
hustling. We were hustling CDs, man. We were selling CDs for $5 a pop and signing autographs and signing backpacks. And it like for what it was, it took a lot of guts. And like we look back at those times now and be like, I can't even believe that we did that, because that shit was it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild, but
But we
gave us
garnered a
thick
lot of
skin,
fans.
garnered a lot of fans. And I remember we played our first when we first played our first club show at the 360 on Queen Street West.
Wow.
Packed show. So it worked.
Yeah, it definitely did, man. Adam, though, what particular sound were you guys looking for? You kind of mentioned it earlier, because when we talk about this new single, which I absolutely love, there's a reason why, but what was the sound that you guys were looking for then? Because I want people to know about the evolution of where you guys are
Yeah.
today.
Well, especially coming from like all three of us coming from like, well, I know Andrew was more like new metal, us like punk rock, pop punk. We kind of wanted to like, we were really into like three-piece bands, like, Blink, Nirvana, The Police. And so, we wanted to like kind of mend that sound together back then, anyways. And then, fast forward 10 years from now, like we're still, trying to mend our sound and create something new. And I think even going in this new direction, it's almost just like an advanced version of that. We still got the grooves, we still got like hard choruses, we still rock out live kind of thing. So it's kind of always a progression of like the kind of groove with like a hard kind of chorus kind of thing.
But the other thing too, Al, is your vocals are freaking amazing. It's not just the music and the beats themselves. I mean, these days you can have bands that yell and scream and do whatever, but you guys are what do they say? You're an alternative band, a rock band, or whatever. But the thing is, though, you guys have amazing vocals where if the three of you were just to sit there and just sing without instruments, you still would sound badass.
Well,
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. But for a very long time, we sounded like prepubescent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work to get there, and happy that it did, because we put in our hours, man. We would just rehearse hour after hour, for a very long time, just trying to perfect our craft and own in on those things. So the singing thing did not happen overnight, for sure.
Andrew, what would you say? What was the single that started really helping to put you guys on the map? What do you think was the single that people really started to notice you guys? I mean, they're noticing you guys doing your live shows and stuff like that. But for somebody who wasn't there for the live shows and they heard just that one song in the beginning, which song do you think it would have been and why?
I mean, I think with the help of Canadian radio and Sirius XM, we had a song that was picked up called Fast Forward that was really kind of put us on the map. And that song, with that song, we saw a lot more people come out to the shows, and we had a lot of heads turned. But and actually, yeah, it was with that attention where I think we got some interest from labels, and moving from that and releasing more songs. We got closer and closer to to the goal, but I think that that was maybe the beginning of it. And that was, that was a song that we spent, I don't even, like, guys, how much time we spent on that song. It was
like 5
it's like, hey,
minutes.
let's just, here's 3 chords, let's just yell, and Al really showcased his vocals, because he sounded like he stubbed his toe in the chorus of that song. But it was it was really, balls to the wall, really hard hitting song. And I think it was just, the authenticity of that song, that people were like, oh, this sounds real, this sounds badass. And from then on, we kind of just been trying to, informing our own sound, trying to make music that we are like, we sincerely believe in this, and not, just making a song to make a song. And I think that that's one thing that we're really, focusing on now, especially, on this turnaround, this record.
But Adam, as we all know, we all got hit with the pandemic and things shut down. When you have such a strong momentum going on, what did the pandemic do to the group? Was there a point in time where, because it took so long to even allow people to be out there in clubs, and at the same time too, a lot of cities, including, mine, Toronto, we were losing venues for artists like yourselves to be able to play. Was there ever a point in time where you guys said, maybe we should hang this up? What were you guys thinking? What were you doing during that time?
Well, we definitely didn't think about like hanging it up at all. It definitely sucked at the beginning. We had to cancel a bunch of touring that we had planned throughout the year, but we pivoted actually pretty quickly. As soon as like we heard things were shutting down, we went right to social media right away and started doing like, live Stuck Inside, like our little segment that we did every week, and we would come up with songs and we'd just try and pivot that way. So the first year of the pandemic, I don't think we found that much of a problem. More the second year, when we were still inside, because then at that point you're like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we still going to be doing live sessions? Are we gonna maybe hold back, start releasing mute, or start like maybe going into writing mode again? But then that was tough during the pandemic. So, to answer your question, the first year when the pandemic hit, I felt like we were fine. Felt like it was the second year that we kind of really had some issues of like, okay, what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? Are we gonna be playing shows? That kind of thing. So,
Al, did your music itself, whether it be story writing or story style, did it change? Because we were all different. Like, we were one way before the pandemic. The pandemic happened. We started to see a lot of things on social media, a lot of crazy things going on in Canada, the US, and around the world. And I know a lot of artists I've spoke with, their music and what they wrote from what they saw and experienced change. Did that change with the band also?
Yeah, I mean, this batch of songs that we've been putting out for the last 6 months to a year. It started out with a song called "Strange," then "Makeshift Paradise," and here we are with "Crack in the Glass." It definitely spoke to those times, especially a song like "Strange," where we didn't know what the future of our band was. The first year, like Adam said, we kind of had some wheels to keep doing our thing, but I think the second year became very challenging, especially when we didn't really know too much about what the future of touring looked like. We didn't really know, we were getting together, but we weren't able to get together into recording studios. We weren't able to get together with other writers, producers. So we kind of wrote, we kind of hibernated and wrote these, songs that were definitely informed by mental health, especially a song like "Makeshift Paradise." It was tough because we really wanted to, we were really on like an upwards climb with our Beautiful Nowhere album. We're getting a lot of play on Canadian radio, but we couldn't tour, couldn't get behind the music the way that we normally would. And if you know our band, we are the guys that show up with acoustic guitars anytime, any place. We're ready to play, and we're ready to just turn people on any way we can. So the fact that we weren't able to do that, we were definitely in our heads a lot. So that's where a lot of these songs that you're hearing right now kind of came from, including our new single "Crack in the Glass."
We're going to get to that in a moment. But Andrew, once things started to open up, did you guys have a plan? What did you guys start to do to start getting shows happening? And of course, getting people to, it's almost reintroducing yourselves again to the world.
Yeah, we're like, we're we're in the middle right now of writing our second record. We're creating well, actually, we're just doing it, and we're creating it. We're in the middle of doing it right now. We actually went to Nashville recently to actually write with some pretty amazing people, and we're planning on going back there very soon. And like that's basically what we're doing like right now. And I know you said like when things opened up, I feel like things opened up and then it was winter, and then now we're like in spring and summer. It's like things are like opening up like now because we've been in it for too long, way too long. And the season for music is when it's nice out, at least in this city. So I mean, in terms of shows, you know we're 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 really like I always see it as like kind of like a sports season. No, you have your preseason, then you have your regular season, then you got your playoffs, and the way that we're doing it right now is like we're in preseason, we're writing, we're making sure like this record is the best that it can be, and then when it's regular season, we're going to be getting ready to gear up to play shows, and then playoffs is being on the stage and showing everyone what we've done. And I think that we're really trying as much as we can to get all the pieces in order right now to make our fans the happiest they can be and be the best we can be. So 110%, hard in the corners.
I love it,
Yeah,
man.
you sounded like you were a hockey player getting interviewed after a game.
Man,
But
it's
we're
crazy.
it's a preseason right now. We're gonna get to the season.
We're doing it. I just want to thank my sponsors. Man, it's playoffs now. I'm heavy into the playoffs right now. I'm loving it. It's great to see 18 years. Toronto's in for the first time in 18 years.
And hopefully they hold on, man. Hopefully they hold on.
It's a long season, long series, long battles. But whatever, we're just it's entertainment. That's what we do. That's what we love. So it's great.
Amen to that, Adam. Al mentioned the new single a couple of times. I'm going to give it to you on the official note on this. What is the name of the new single? What is it about, and how does it represent the band today?
Well, our new single, "Crack in the Glass." Go listen to it. Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a more meaningful song. Definitely, more slow tempo kind of thing. Hits hard in the choruses and stuff like that.
Just feels good.
Yeah, I think cracking the glass is really about like the compromise in a relationship and the push and pull that you have to do to make a relationship work, whether it be with a friend, a girlfriend, your partner, whatever that is. There's always compromise, and sometimes it's hard to see eye to eye on things, but when you both kind of compromise, and you kind of end up getting somewhere. So that's kind of where that song came from.
Can I say this? And this is going, and I don't care who answers this one. I'll throw it out there through you. Honestly, I think it's the best song you guys have written. I think it's the best vocally song that I've heard from you guys. And I think musically, I think this is the best song I've heard from you guys. Period. To me, it's a throwback. If you were to take 70s, 80s, and 90s and jam it together, this is the song that would represent that.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Are we?
It's only going to get better, Rudy. It's only going to get better. Wait till you hear this new album, man. We're blowing ourselves away. We're so excited about all the new music.
That's what I wanted to go back to, man. What's the new album going to be? Are we looking at this?
Yeah, I mean, well, like Andrew said, we've been between Toronto and Nashville, and we've been working with some really interesting people, really cool people that we've looked up to for a long time. So to be in the rooms with some people that are, idols to us has been super awesome. And honestly, we're just trying to get back to, this band is always trying to push ourselves to get to the most authentic version of who we are at that time. We always wanted to represent where we are in our lives. And this album is definitely about trying to get to the core of who we are as a band stylistically. And, it's touching on all the themes that Stuck on Planet Earth always has, which is love, it's loss, it's lust, it's and it's the power of the three-piece. That's what we're really trying to showcase. So it's going to be energetic, it's going to be dancey, it's going to rock hard. It's the most exciting music I think we've ever embarked in creating. So we're like super excited to just get out there and start showing people.
Cannot wait, man. Andrew, any tours happening?
Right now we're preseason.
Okay.
We're getting ready for the playoffs. We're just in preseason. No tours yet. Just getting this record. Records top of mind. Looking at sounds, looking at microphones, looking at different things that we can do to make this thing just work and make it be the best it can. And then once it's ready, and only once it's ready, I think then that's when we're gonna start looking at showing the world, because we just want to make it amazing.
And Adam,
And
what do you
that's what
think
the
this album? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry?
You were gonna say.
No. I don't know. I was just gonna say that's what the pandemic's kind of done for us. Is we kind of like slowed down, and we're like, all right, like, you know, let's take our time. Let's not try and do so many things. Like, even though like we live in this world where we have to do everything, kind of like slow our pace down, and let's actually just like focus on making a great record.
Oh, no, I'm not gonna. No surprise there, man. It's gonna be a great record. I cannot wait. I was gonna say, when do you think the album may come out? Are we looking at?
That's
we're
hard
looking.
to tell. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think probably 2024 for sure, early 2024. Yeah.
Then just curious, then, man. And I'm gonna throw this out to you guys. Then, while we're waiting, and usually guys start recording this around this time. Any chance for a Christmas song to come out from you guys for the holiday season?
Man, we've got our annual Christmas song that comes out every year. It's a gift that keeps giving, and that's called "Can You Make It Feel Like Christmas" with the one and only Gowan of Stick. So that's probably the only Christmas song that we will ever record as Stuck on Planet Earth. And
Don't say
never
that. Don't say that.
never.
No,
Well,
no.
Say never.
unless Gowan calls us up to do a part 2 of that. Every year
Shania
that
might
comes
call us.
I got some
every-
Christmas riffs in the bank.
every Christmas season, when it's time to pump out that song, it feels like it becomes more and more like a Christmas classic. So that's the one for us.
What was it like recording with him, man? Because of course I've interviewed him many a time, and I mean
best.
he's just a genius.
He is a genius.
He's so good that, like, I mean, I can't speak for the other guys, but I went home after that studio session going like, I fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, I am the worst musician, the worst like ever. But I learned from that, and I practiced really hard the next few weeks, just because like being in the studio with Gowan is just, he's a beast.
Actually,
he's on a different plane for sure.
He didn't dance or anything, because the guy can dance too, right? Like literally, the guy can do everything.
Oh yeah. He can dance. He's a true entertainer in the truest sense. That guy is something else. For sure.
Hey, and you guys are something else too, man. And you guys are truly original.
Thank
you guys are a great band. You're a great representation of the red and white and maple leaf. I love where you guys are going. I love this new single. Cannot wait for the new album, and cross fingers, man. When you guys are back on the road, Toronto is going to be one of your stops. So I'm hoping for that. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on the new music. Cannot wait to talk to you guys again.
Thanks, man.
And cross fingers is going to be in person.
Thanks, Rudy.
All right. Thank you, Rudy.